Every summer, off Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula, the sea quietly fills with giants, whale sharks. Gentle filter feeders the size of buses follow plankton blooms near Isla Mujeres and nearby islands. Licensed boats head out at sunrise, scanning the horizon for dorsal fins and the telltale pattern of spots just below the surface. A typical whale shark tour from Isla Mujeres, or Cancun, will set you back somewhere around $150 to $200 per person, depending on the operator, plus a separate marine park fee of roughly $13 to $20. That price usually includes snorkel gear, lunch, and a guide. But the real value is in how tightly the best tours follow the rules. Only a few people are allowed in the water at a time. You must keep a respectful distance, touching is strictly banned, and captains can lose their licenses if they chase or crowd the sharks. These regulations came after years of concern about too many boats converging in one area. As parks crack down, the most ethical operators are leaning into smaller groups, better training, and strict codes of conduct. That means fewer chaotic splashes and more moments where a whale shark glides past in silence, its spots glowing electric blue in the sun. For the animals, it means feeding in peace while tourism money helps justify protections for the waters they depend on. If that's what carefully managed boat traffic can do for a fish, imagine what careful boardwalks can do for an ape that thinks almost like we do. On the island of Borneo, in the Malaysian state of Sabah, a narrow road leads through oil palm plantations to a pocket of lowland rainforest, home to the Sepalok Orangutan Rehabilitation Center. Inside, young orangutans that have been orphaned by logging, the pet trade, or habitat loss learn how to climb, forage, and eventually live independently. Again, visitors don't get to hug them. In fact, that's the whole point. Orangutans share around 96% of our DNA, which means they also share most of our diseases. One bad flu could wipe out a nursery. So Sepalok keeps strict rules. You watch from raised boardwalks, you keep your distance, and the youngest orangutans are seen behind protective glass as they practice climbing ropes and stealing each other's food. The price to enter? Around 30 Malaysian ringgit, about $6 or $7 for a foreign adult, plus a small camera fee. Your ticket lets you attend up to 2 feeding sessions that day, where semi-wild orangutans emerge from the forest, grab fruit, and vanish again into the trees. It's one of the most inexpensive great ape encounters on the planet, and the money goes straight back into vet care, food, and forest protection. Some travelers complain online that they didn't get close enough, but that slight frustration is actually a sign the place is doing its job. The goal at Sepalok isn't to give you a perfect selfie. It's to make sure there are still wild orangutans in Borneo 50 years from now. And speaking of wild animals living alongside humans, our final stop shows what happens when an endangered species sets up home in the middle of a coastal suburb. Drive 45 minutes from downtown Cape Town, and you hit a neighborhood where the traffic jams sometimes involve penguins. Boulders Beach, part of Table Mountain National Park, is home to one of the world's few land-based colonies of African penguins, an endangered species that decided the rocks and coves of this sheltered bay were perfect real estate. Instead of letting visitors trample nests, South African national parks built a system of wooden boardwalks and viewpoints. From there, you can watch penguins waddling between bushes, guarding eggs in sandy burrows, or launching themselves into waves like tiny torpedoes. There's also a protected swimming beach where, if you're lucky, a penguin might cruise past your feet while you're in the water, completely ignoring you. For international visitors, entrance to Boulder's Beach and its penguin colony costs in the ballpark of 215 to 245 South African rand, about 11 to 13 US dollars, for adults, with reduced rates for kids. That money helps finance rangers, signage, and habitat work aimed at protecting a species threatened by overfishing and climate change. The rules are simple: no feeding, no touching, no chasing. If a penguin chooses to walk across the path right in front of you, that's their decision, not your entitlement. It's a reminder that ethical wildlife encounters don't always require luxury lodges or $1,000 permits. Sometimes they're as simple as a well-placed boardwalk and a sign that says, "Do not disturb." So, which wildlife do you want to pay for? From giraffes leaning through breakfast windows in Nairobi to baby elephants preparing for a second chance at freedom. From gorillas on misty volcano slopes to retired elephants in Thai valleys. Whale sharks drifting through blue water. Orangutans relearning the forest. And penguins nesting between suburban houses. Every encounter we've talked about is expensive for someone. Maybe it's your bank account. Maybe it's a government agency. Maybe it's an NGO or a park ranger walking 12 hours a day. The question isn't just, can I afford this trip? It's, what kind of future am I funding when I go? Are you paying for a selfie factory that quietly harms the animals? Or for a system that keeps them wild, healthy, and part of a living ecosystem? If you could only choose one of these experiences, which one would you put at the top of your list, and why? Let me know in the comments, and if you want more deep dives into wildlife travel, from hidden zoos that are changing conservation to budget-friendly encounters you've never heard of, hit subscribe. Because in the end, the wildest thing about these trips isn't the animals themselves. It's the fact that your ticket can help decide whether they're still here for the next generation.